Hi, I'm Zink Dee. I wanted to talk to you today, just a couple of things I was thinking about the last few days about Randy Rhoads and his use of the modes that I'd like to just share with you today and get you thinking about some things. Now Randy, it's well known, used a lot of the modes, and he had a couple of them that he favored. But I'm going to show them to you the way that I think he used them more than the standard textbook definition of modes. So if you know what the modes are, then we can keep going. If you don't know what the modes are, then you got some work to do to look them up. But basically your modes, if we're talking about the B Phrygian mode, that's one I want to talk about right now. The B Phrygian mode, you're in the key of G, and you're playing from B to B in the key of G. The proper use of the B Phrygian mode is that if you're in the key of G, G major, you play the 3 chord in a progression. You play the 3 chord. You play a B minor chord, and over that B minor chord, you use B Phrygian. You use the mode in the key of G major that accompanies or that goes along with that chord. So for a B minor chord, you should play this. And then when the chord changes to D, and you play the D Mixolydian mode. And the chord goes back to G, so then you play the Ionian mode. So that's the typical textbook use of the modes, and Randy Rhoads definitely used them that way. But he also used them more for their help to him as a sound and as a fingering shape. So what I noticed is that he plays the Phrygian mode very, very often, very commonly in some really outstanding lines in the solos. Randy's playing the Phrygian mode. So Phrygian, you should know this mode if you're going to understand what I'm talking about here. So the Phrygian mode is, we're going to start this in B. So we're on the 7th fret, first finger on B, second finger on C, the 8th fret, and then the pinky on D, the 10th fret. And so for the rest of the strings, I'm just going to talk fingers because it's a fingering pattern. 1, 2, 4. Those are the fingers that we're using on the 6th string. 1, 2, 4. The next string goes 1, 3, 4. E, F sharp, G. So 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. Next string is 1, 3, 4. Next string is 1, 3. And then the first two strings, strings 1 and 2, are 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. And it's those two strings that are more the feature when Randy plays the Phrygian mode. He's playing that 1, 2, 4 finger. He loves that fingering. So in the key of G, it doesn't matter what chord he'd be playing. He could be playing throughout a whole series of chords in the key of G. He'd go to that B Phrygian to get the 1, 2, 4 finger. So he'd play. Whatever, that's not really one of his songs or anything, but it would give you that feeling, that sound. Because any other fingering is going to require a little bit more work. If you do a 1, 3, 4, well then you're targeting your 2 weakest fingers to try to play that. Where your 1, 2, 4 takes your 2 strongest fingers and adds the pinky. He was very well versed with using his pinky. So I'm going to show you just a couple of examples where he would use that in his actual solos. One would be, let's see, Revelation Mother Earth, where he plays the second half of the solo when he does this. Right there. So he's going 12th fret, 1, 2, 4, The second string, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, and he actually moves it to the third string, a fret lower. So he's got almost like a 3-string sequence of that. So it's a 1, 2, 4 fingering. Loves that. It's the beginning of the solo to Over the Mountain. So he starts with this little 3-2-1 arpeggio shape over 3 strings, but then he's playing 4-2-1, 4-2-1. Even at the end of it, 4-2-1. So he uses it in Over the Mountain. He uses it in Mr. Crowley. Mr. Crowley, where he's playing the arpeggio sequences all the way from the low up to the 5th fret. So that's... Now he uses it theoretically in the appropriate way. This is, in Mr. Crowley, for instance, this is A Phrygian. Mr. Crowley is in the key of D minor, and D minor, the relative major to that is F major. So F would be 1, you play the major scale, major mode. G minor would be 2, and you play the G Dorian. So A would be 3, you play the A Phrygian. So he knew how to use it, and he used it the right way. He used it, I should say the right way. He used it the traditional way. I mean, he applied it in the proper context. Then the other really standout use of him using the 1, 2, 4 pattern, the Phrygian shape, the Phrygian feel, is in his solo spot on the tribute album when he did the live shows, where he just, and he also does this in, I think it's in Mr. Crowley as well, where he just does this. That thing that he's playing is just 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. And he hooks it up the speed of his left hand with the speed of the pick in the right hand, and it's perfectly synced, so it sounds like it's a really like an actual line that he's playing, but it's just that fingering that he's moving all the way down the neck. So there you have it. That's one way that Randy Rhoads used the modes, specifically that Phrygian mode. You'll hear it, and when you understand it, you'll start using it in your own playing. So I wish you the best of luck with it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll try to post some more of these little Randy Rhoads tidbits as I get the time. All right? I'm Zink Dee. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Thank you.